Peninsula is the globally trusted provider of employment law, HR and health and safety services, supporting over 75,000 businesses in the UK, Ireland, Northern Ireland, Canada, Australia and New Zealand. They offer tax and payroll advice, employee assistance programs and HR and health and safety training. Peter Doan is Group Managing Director and founder of Peninsula. As he looks to launch his latest business venture in Canada, he gives us a personal insight into how he built his empire and why slowing down is never an option.
Okay, so Peter, let's go back to the beginning of Peninsula. It's the early 1980s. You're a successful entrepreneur in Manchester, northwest England. And you decide to set up an employment advice firm business. Why did you do that?
It's the classic case of turning a problem into an opportunity. My brother and myself were running a very successful business back in the 80s. We had an employment tribunal. We instructed a lawyer and took and followed his advice to the letter, went through all the dispute with them. When we got to the employment court, we were advised by the lawyer that we should settle the case. And it cost us £4,000 in a settlement.
Which at the time was quite a lot of money.
It was a lot of money, but the situation got worse because then we got a bill about 3 weeks later for another £4,000. We then got approached by a consultant who said, look, if you'd have had my service, you wouldn't have paid any of the legal cost, you wouldn't have paid the awards. We specialise in employment, which the lawyer didn't, and he was a jack of all trades, and that's probably where we went wrong. And we liked that service so much, we bought the business.
Clearly one of your objectives when you set up Peninsula was to differentiate yourself to the traditional law firm and employment advisor. How did you do that?
Our service is very simple but very comprehensive. We install for all our businesses tailor-made contracts of employment that suit their business. Then, and most importantly, we give 24/7, 365 days of the year advice on employment matters. So any dispute in the workplace, one of our clients just needs to pick up the phone and we've got an experienced employment specialist advising them on what they should do and how to try and nip that problem in the bud. You need to have a happy workforce, you need to have a motivated workforce, and I think the management and the way you manage people is absolutely key. We advise a business on how to treat and how to manage their employees, and it's vitally important. If we get it wrong, we pick up the tab for the dispute, for the award and for the litigation. Generally speaking, a lawyer doesn't specialise, they're doing other things. Our day job is employment, 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 24/7. And that's what we do, that's what we're good at, and that's why we're different than lawyers.
What would you say to an entrepreneur just set up their own business and who would argue perhaps that, well, it's a bit of a luxury, this legal advice, employment advice, I can do without it?
If you not get the base right, it's like quicksand, you go under. If you get the base right, if you get your standard and terms and conditions, and people know where they stand when they come to work with job descriptions, they know exactly what they need to do, what the rules and regulations are, but more importantly, it helps the small business owner or the business owner keep control of his business. Everybody knows where they stand, and from that you can build a base to a successful business.
And over the years you've diversified the business a bit away just from employment advice to things such as health and safety. Why has that been important for you to sort of diversify?
We started in employment, but we soon found that safety in the workplace was a big issue. Our service in the UK comprises of employment, health and safety, safety in the workplace, and even more importantly, EAPs, which is our employee assistance program. So stress in the workplace now is a big problem for small businesses, and the biggest reason why people take time off work. We can help you get your employees back to work quicker. All our services are covered 24/7, 365 days of the year. So we're there for the business anytime they want us.
How have you improved the service in response to customer feedback? Because the business has been going a long time. Lots has changed in things like employment law. Can you give examples of how you've improved the service, made it more relevant to customers, better value?
In Peninsula, Nick, we never ever get complacent. We're always improving our service, incremental improvements, 1% a year, 1% a week, that's what we do. Any business is entirely built on its management team. You're only as good as your management. That's what we advise and encourage our clients to do. And if we can do that and get that message down to the client base, to the people that users, you know, that it's motivation, pick up the phone anytime you need us. And I think that's the key. So we improve all the time. That's why we're the biggest. And the key to that, of course, is the renewal rate. Our business depends on renewals. If a client doesn't renew, we're in trouble. We have the highest renewal rate of any of the businesses in the UK in this field. So
one of Peninsula's corporate mantras or slogans is success starts here. But how would you, as a high-profile entrepreneur, identify or describe a successful business? Is it just the profit and loss, or is it something broader?
Well, profit and loss are very, very important, particularly for a small business. But having said that, the only way you get to profit is by having a good team in place, looking after your staff that are coming in on time and not taking days off with stress and so on. What we say in Peninsula is, look, we look after the employment law, we look after the advice, you look after your business, and that then gets more successful businesses going forward.
It sounds common sense in a way, but do a lot of entrepreneurs, business owners, overlook that or get distracted at the start and kind of don't pay enough attention to their employees because they're so busy doing other things?
Running a small business can be very stressful. There's problems every day. And the last thing you need is problems from people that work for you. The big advantage our clients have over businesses that don't use our sort of service is that you can get on with the day job. You can look after that. We look after the red tape. We look after the advice. We advise a business on how to treat and how to manage their employees, and it's vitally important.
Like a lot of entrepreneurs, business owners, you're very busy. How do you relax outside work?
I'm an early riser. I get up at 5 o'clock every morning. I read for an hour, go in the gym at 6, and that motivates me for the day. I also take quite a number of breaks. If a small business owner can take time off, it's absolutely key because you come back refreshed. I mean, I come back with loads and loads of ideas. I never stop thinking about business, but that doesn't mean to say I don't relax. I love going on short breaks, holidays. And I think anything that you do in life is a balance. If you're working all day, you're going to be jaded, but if you can take time off, refresh. And it's only when you come back from holiday, it's only when I come back from holiday that I realise, yeah, I needed that break.
So clearly motivation is an important part of your life and your work. Do you have any heroes in or outside work who particularly inspire you? I'm guessing some of these posters might give a clue.
Well, these are all my heroes here, historical heroes, but I'm a good friend of Alex Ferguson. He's a very good friend. I mean, we spend many, many hours together, and he is so motivational. His management style, the record he had with Manchester United is absolutely second to none. He is very, very compassionate, but very driven. Even now he's retired. He's been retired 4 or 5 years. The thing I learnt from Alex is, he told me, and this particularly is relevant for small businesses, keep control and make decisions. Always make decisions. If you make a decision, you may well make the wrong decision, but you know, you could hopefully make the right decision, but the wrong decision is better than no decision.
One of the things he did was sort of quit while he was still at the top, but have you any plans for retirement?
He was way into his 70s, so he lasted quite a long time. I've absolutely no plans to retire whatsoever. And the reason is that I love it. Why should I retire? One thing I would say to everybody is that the key to any successful business is to get out and enjoy it. And if you don't enjoy it, do something else.
Peter, thanks very much for your time and good luck with the Canada business launch.
Thanks, Nick. Enjoyed it. Cheers.